tuning back in. My name is Fonny. In my channel, I talk about my houseplant and my Hoyas. In today's video, I want to show you some spring growth that I have spotted. I have shown you most of it in the winter growth update, but there are much more growth now that I can show you. If you are interested in this type of content and you don't want to miss out next time when I post a new video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out next time. Well, now let's take a look at the growth. Today is a very sunny day and it is the beginning of spring, so I think it would be nice to just show you the new growth in springtime. I can show you from this part. If you can see all of the new growth point of this Serpens. I know a lot of people wanted to know a little bit more about the care tips of Serpens, because Serpens has a pretty thin stem, as I explained in my video, the top 10 hardest Hoyas to have. Well, Serpen is one of them. However, what I have placed it is just next to the south facing window, and you can see that there are multiple new growth points from one single plant over there. And over there would be the Hoya Heuschkeliana variegated. It is also pushing out multiple new growth on each tip. Here I have a closer one so that I can show you the growth. You can see that in all of the new tips, it has pushed out a lot of new growth. And if I pan down a little bit, you see the very famous one that I recently featured, which is this one. This one here is Hoya GPS 735. Under the light is just very fluffy. You see, it's almost like translucent in the corolla because of the fuzziness. It's a very big flower. And in this one, we can also see the growth of this red one. Can you guess? This one is Hoya Walliniana. It has a very deep red color, and it also pushed out quite a large leaf. You see this one here. This stem is keep pushing out very large leaf compared to the older ones. And this one over here is Heuschkeliana green. It is pushing out some really nice, cute, rounded leaf. And in all of the tips you can see there are multiple new growth points. This one here, this one over here, and even the very dormant Sigillatis actually pushed out some new growth. This is the new leaf that has recently pushed out. It is super large. You can see that the leaf is really splashy, and because of the sunlight it has become much more red than the other ones. This is also a new leaf that has grown just from the start of spring, and all of the tips are growing new growth point, as you can see here, and all of them are really splashy. This one you can see there are some new growth in the tip as well. And then if we pan through this one here is Rotundiflora. This one has really cute new platypus leaves, and it also comes out a little bit dark, like dark brownish color, and I would say this one is just doubled its size compared to the time when I received it around 8 months ago. And panned it through, the GPS 735 has been a slow grower, but it has pushed out a flower, as you can see over here. But if you mention about the foliage, I first saw new growth around 2 months ago. And this is a new leaf that has grown, and that is a new stem coming out. And I think here, this one is also a new leaf over here. It is slightly thinner and slightly larger. That's how I identify it as a new growth. And let me try to pan through this one at the back. If you can see, this one is Dischidia Nummularia. This one is a plant that originally is planted in soil, but then I managed to put it in pond. It took a bit of a hit, I would say, when it tries to acclimate to pond, because Dischidia normally likes to be more dry side on the soil substrate. But then after I have placed it in pond for 3 weeks, I can finally see some new growth. As you can see, the new growth coming out from the tip. And closer to me, this one here, this one is Hoya Carmelae. Hoya Carmelae is a really slow grower in my experience. However, when spring hits, it finally pushed out this new stem. However, this one has a mealybug issue. I have been constantly removing those cotton-like texture, but when I try to do my best to remove them, it actually got controlled. But you just always need to keep an eye on new mealybugs coming out. Alright, Hoya Endauensis is the only one that I haven't seen any growth since I purchased it 8 months ago. I did see some potential new growth in the node, so hopefully it will push out something. Just need to be a bit more patient. This one above it is Hoya Brevialata. Hoya Brevialata is quite slow growing. I would say the first growth just pushed out a couple of months ago, but ever since the growth spur has been stimulated, it has constantly pushed out new growth. As you can see, this new leaf is very glossy, and it also pushed out a new entire stem over here. Just trying to gentle. Yeah, so it is enjoying life. And then moving on over here, this one is the very large Monstera Albo Variegata that I have. I used the technique that Charmaine has taught us. I really like her design for the lazy moss pole because it's super functional, and I think it looks pretty nice as well. And here you see that there is a new leaf coming out. Hopefully the lazy moss pole can give it more moisture in the air roots and grow larger leaves. This one here is Philodendron Paraiso Verde. You see that I also put in a lazy moss pole. Here I have one new shoot coming out. You can take a closer look over here. Yes, that one over there is a new growth point. And this one here is the huge Strelitzia Nicolai that I have shown multiple times, especially I mentioned about repotting in pond. The 3 new growth point is constantly pushing out, so then the leaf could unfurl, and you can see that that is the latest new leaf coming out. Then we move on to another side. This one here is enjoying life. This one is Philodendron Golden Dragon. It has, I think, 3 stems originally when I purchased it, and then it's constantly pushing out new growth point. But the growth point is getting smaller, so I think I should put it in a moss pole. It just takes a lot of effort because as you can see how dense it is. I just need to find a day to make that happen. And you also can see here is the Syngonium Mojito. This one, I realized that when there is higher light, it has much more prominent comparison between the splashes, and you can see now that the splashes are very obvious, like this one, compared to the ones that it is in lower light condition. This one here. See that there's a stark contrast. So I believe for this Syngonium Mojito, as long as you give more sunlight, it will push out much stronger splashes. Then this one here I have showed you in my winter growth as well. This one here is super large. It's Philodendron Syndado Golden. I remember when I purchased it, the leaves are smaller than this. I think most of the leaf comes with it already dropped off, but you can see that the leaf size has become much more mature, and this leaf over here has been extremely large. This plant has also been attacked by thrips before. However, I treated it and then now it has get back to life. And I'm really happy with the size because that's how I love about Syndado. It's almost like a finger. Over here, there are some more Syngonium. A new leaf is coming out there. This one is Syngonium Confetti. The new leaf normally comes out pretty milky. However, when it becomes more mature or older, it will fade out a little bit to become a darker shade of green. But regardless, when it's like this color or that lighter color, I think it's very nice. And here, this Philodendron Gloriosum has grown so much under my care. This one is the leaf that I have shown you I think in the Philodendron Gloriosum comparison video. However, ever since then, you can see that is the oldest leaf now because I chopped off the rest after a while. And you can see that this is the leaf that came out after this one. I think this one comes out and then this one over here comes out, and then the size just doubled in the newer one. And here you can see the latest leaf is coming to pop out soon. I believe this will be a very, very large leaf because just looking at the size right now, it's already like the largest leaf, so potentially it will have a larger one. Okay, then we move on to another pink splash leaf. I want to show you this one because it's very, very exciting. This one, can you see this leaf over here? This is a mature form of Syngonium when it's like more than 3 separate leaves. Here there's a tiny, teeny one over here, which combines have 5 sets of leaf in this one. I was really surprised when I saw that. The smallest leaf didn't really unfurl after 3-4 days. This whole leaf has unfurled, so I thought that was some kind of excessive material from the plant. But then it turns out to be a 5-finger Syngonium pink splash. And this one is the latest one that comes out. I think this one will have 3 leaves. But look at the splashes, it's super pink. And I also propagate it in the lower part, and this is the latest leaf. It's super pink as well. I also have like this dot. It's a really cute combination. And here is the Syngonium Wendlandii. This is getting mature, I believe, because you see that the ear lobes are getting more and more separated. The earlier ones looks like this, when the ear lobes completely attached to the bottom part. But when it got more mature, it looks like this. The ear lobes start detaching from the lower part and become like a bunny look. Alright, then we move on to another side, which is my Hoya corner. Okay, we can start from here. This one is Hoya Sunrise. It is really enjoying life. You can see a lot of tendrils are going out from the pot. And also there are multiple tendrils growing everywhere. This one has been attacked by mealybugs. I think it still has some mealybugs at the moment, but I managed, well, hopefully, to control it a little bit more. So I didn't really see a massive infestation of mealybugs at the moment. And let's look at some flowers which just opened, I believe, this morning. here is the Hoya Sunrise. Because it is directly next to my south-facing window, you can see it is very pink in the corolla. And you can also see this leaf, it's very sun-stressed. And I can actually pen through here because you see another set of Hoya Rebecca. Hoya Rebecca is having very pink flowers on this one. And this one is very interesting because it is in the same node, having two peduncle, and it just fully packed with peduncle. And if I pen through to here a little bit, you see another peduncle growing, another peduncle, and a baby peduncle growing. There is also another baby peduncle on the back. And because of the recent sunny days, it has become much more sun-stressed. If we pan up a little bit, this one here is Krohniana. This is the normal form, but sometimes I can see slightly darker foliage. So I'm not sure if this one is a combination of a dark form. But regardless, it has really beautiful flowers. And then we pan through here. This one is the Super Eskimo. As usual, it has a lot of flowers. There is some flowers on the middle, you can see. And it just has been constantly pushing out new growth, both in foliage and also the buds. You see that some buds are forming over there. And then we pan down a little bit to look at the Lacunosa. It is having quite a bit of flowering recently, and you can see the nectar is very obvious. I heard that the nectar tastes like sugar, and I actually tasted it. Yes, it tastes like sugar syrup. Then we have another one at the back over here. Right, then we pan through here. This one here is Hoya Mathilde. Originally, it is a pretty dry stem when I received it from the garden center, but over the past year, maybe, or 6 to 7 months, it has grown out super much, and I think it actually has grown out the pot because the entire trellis looks like it's packed with Mathilde. Well, one thing that I noted about my Mathilde is it's quite difficult to flower. If you see that there is multiple, if not massive, loads of peduncle all around my Mathilde, but I never managed to flower it. I really don't know why, because it is really happy with regard to the condition I'm giving it, but it's just not flowering. Let me know in the comment box down below if you have any tricks to flower your Hoya Mathilde. And then moving up, this one here is Hoya Burtoniae. Hoya Burtoniae has really nice sunstress color, I would say. You see this one here, it's like a maroon color with on the edge, and also with some fuzzy, or it's not fuzzy, that kind of leathery texture on the leaf. And if I just pan it around a little bit, then you can see what I meant by the sun stressing here. The sun stressing of Hoya Burtoniae is very pretty. It's more subtle, I would say. It's not so obvious, but then it has that kind of shine on the leaf, and also it has the sun stress on the edge, particularly those ones receiving direct sunlight. And this one over here, this, if you have seen my Instagram, I have showed how sun stressed it is. This one is Hoya Rosita. Hoya Rosita is really beautiful when it comes to the sun stress pattern. It is really dark purple, and you probably can't see how dark it is, but I can show a picture on the side of how contrast the color could be between the sun stressed one and also the one is not sun stressed. But it is growing a lot of new stems, as you can see, all of the tips. We then move on to this big one over here. This one is the recent purchased I have showed you, the huge Billietiae. It has acclimated really well in my home, and all of the leaf is doing well. None of them has dropped, and one thing that is very exciting is I can see the new leaf unfurled. I don't think this new leaf would be as big as the brothers and sisters, but I am happy that the plant is showing new growth. I'm just really happy to have this plant because it is huge and that it managed to survive the shipping. All right, then we move on to this one. This one is my wishlist Monstera Esqueleto. I also showed you in the unboxing. Here you see that the new leaf has started to harden off, and it actually has enlarged a little bit compared to the day when I received it. So it's really good. So then it's showing signs of acclimation, and none of the leaves are looking yellow or sad, and the stem is also really strong and thick. So I'm really happy about that. And we can move on to this one, another one that I showed you. This one here, I'm trying to give it a more high humid environment, so then it could acclimate better because of the thin leaf. This one here is the Philodendron Polypodioides. If you take a closer look, the yellow leaves are still yellowed. Well, I think the thing about yellowed leaf is you can't really reverse it to make it green again. However, I'm really happy to see the newest leaf, this one here, turned much darker green than the time when I received it, because when I received it, it could potentially be a new leaf just unfurled. That's why it's having a lime green color, but now it has become much more darker green, as you can see. And also for the new leaf, it has grown a little bit more as well. So I'm happy to say this one has acclimated well, and it managed to take care of itself. I'll give you a more close-up update after maybe say a month. Now is the second week after I have received all of these. Can't finish this video without showing you this. Look at this Hoya Bella. It has bloomed so many times, and I would say it stopped blooming a month and a half ago, and it's still constantly pushing out new peduncle. That looks like it will be able to mature, because you can see that the buds are getting more rounded, and then same as this one over here. This is a very good sign that this plant is doing happy, because in my condition or my experience, it's quite difficult to flower Hoya Bella, as I have explained in one of my Hoya bloom talk. So I'm really happy to show you the flowering Hoya Bella. It's just really nice. It doesn't have to be a very expensive Hoya or really rare Hoya. It's just really encouraging as a person who keeps plants to know the flower and the plant is doing really good. Well, thank you very much to watch until now. If you are interested in this type of content and you don't want to miss out next time when I post similar videos, please feel free to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out next time. Until next time, I wish everyone is having a great day and spot some new growth on your plants. I'll see you next time.